Welcome to this episode of The Standing Ovation. Today, Ovation CXM experts explain the basics of customer journey mapping.
When we get into journey mapping sessions with clients, obviously you can spend a lot of time looking at, all the places, all the ways that a client interacts with an enterprise. But if you break it down really by solution set or by, product function they're trying to access, there are three basic journeys, maybe four. There's the discovery and sales process, right? Which is which a lot of people spend time on from a system standpoint. Hey, I never knew this existed and now I can't live without it. How do I get it? How much do I have to pay? Great, I'm ready. I've signed. Right. That is a journey, right? And with its own cadence and own people engaged. Then there's a really complicated middle step, which is, okay, you've said you want something. Now as an enterprise, how do I get you set up, live, trained, and using this solution that you've bought? And ensure that you're happy with it and that it's delivering the business outcomes that I promised you in the sales journey, right? That you're seeing those things, right? That's what we call the boarding and activation journey, right? For lack of a better term, the go live process. And then there's journeys that can be widely variable after that, which is, sort of the servicing and help me manage my business journeys. Help me use your solution to continue to run my business. I want to try to use it in this way. Can I do that? I'm trying to use it this way. It's not working. Is that because the solution's got a problem, or I'm not applying it correctly, or something's just super broken? Please help me. All right. So those are, quite frankly, if you're an enterprise, after the sales and go live process, that's the primary experience your customer has of your enterprise, is trying to run my business and use your tool to do so. But one of the places that we find super, super valuable to start is that middle stage, right? You bought something, how do I get you all the way through to live using it and ensure that it's delivering the business outcomes you need? Because what we often find is the number of people, organizations, teams, solutions, systems engaged in that end-to-end process, particularly if you're using a third party, is legion. There are just all kinds of people all over delivery for a customer in the go live process, and handoffs can be fragmented. Visibility is typically pretty low. Customer feels like they're getting passed around or bounced around inside a pinball machine, right? So bing, 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 and they don't really know when it all ends. I remember talking to a salesperson about how this is going to drive value for me. I'm 4 weeks into a process now, and all it's been is a headache, right? So that typically is a place where we like to start, because it tends to be fraught, and it tends to be the place where sales forecasts fail to materialize into revenue for enterprises, because customers go, nope, I'm out. Thanks. This is not worth the headache that it's turned into. So accelerating the time to revenue in that go live process, making it a really wonderful, smooth, enjoyable even journey, tightening it, and quite frankly, demonstrating to the customer, hey, here's how I'm going to do business with you. I'm going to tell you where you are. I'm going to show you where you are. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to need from you. I'll give you visibility. You'll always know where you are, where things stand, who's got next, right? Who's got the ball, who's got next. And I'll tell you what you need to know at every stage. And I'll ensure that my people know what they need to know when they engage with you. One of the most frustrating things you can possibly imagine. We've all had it happen. I'm sorry, who are you again? What are you trying to do? Where are you? What am I? That is the most frustrating thing as a customer, as you're going through a go live process with an enterprise, is to have every single person have you repeat, who are you? What are you trying to accomplish? What happened last? That's something they should know at the outset. Hi, Tyler. It's great to see you. I see you're in stage 5. Thank you for sending in that form. We'll need that in stage 6. Here's what I need from you today. Right? That's a much better experience. So long story short, we find that the go live process is a great place to start, because if you can solve a lot of the problems in that, servicing gets a lot easier, and the smoothing of the process into sales is a lot smoother as well. oddly enough, one of the other big ahas we often get in that go live journey mapping process is customer was sold something that quite frankly doesn't fit what they're trying to accomplish. Right. So you get insights into where you need to fix things in the sales journey. And you also, if you do the go live process well, you solve a lot of the, wait a minute, why doesn't it do what I thought it was going to do? How does this work again? Wait, this tool's not integrated with the thing I thought it would be integrated with. You solve a lot of the downstream headache of trying to run the business with this solution if you get that right. So we find that the biggest business impacts tend to be there, and the issues also tend to be the most challenging in that journey.
I think that's great points, Tim. And I think, one of the easiest ways that we've come to a conclusion on, hey, these are the journeys we're going to focus on in this conversation. We just ask the teams. You can go to your business leaders, the team leaders, and some of the tenured employees within those teams and just ask them, hey, in any of these given processes, what drives you crazy? What is the most frustrating part of this? And they'll come to you. They'll say, you know what, Tyler? Or you know what, Tim? I know that I get 25 calls a week from customers that are asking me about some phase and where they are. They signed up for a product and they just haven't gotten live. And so from that point, we know that we should focus on that pre-activation or that onboarding journey. And your people and the boots on the ground, the people that are actually doing the work, they're going to be the best, your best eyes and ears in terms of what's going on in reality and where we can solve and make the biggest impact early on. When we're looking at the key best practices for customer journey mapping, we focus on, what is the focus for today's discussion and for our journey mapping session? That is focus on client centricity, making sure that, it is entirely client focused, and a happy client is a more profitable client. Take an outside in view. So instead of going from, as we were talking, bottoms up and looking at it, let's look at it from the customer's perspective, look at it from the client experience and from their point of view first, and then optimize around that. And then the third is focus on first impressions. We all know, we've said it a million times, you only have one opportunity to make a first impression. And if you focus on those key things for the discussion, that gets into the rules for our discussion. So we always want to make sure that we are present, regardless of whether or not the stage or the journey we're talking about touches your function. We need you to be involved. Multitasking does not work. The whole point of this is to make sure that this is cross-functional. Every single person in the organization from all levels and all teams has the ability to speak their truth and what this journey looks like from their perspective, which leads into the second rule, which is be truthful, be honest. There is no value in coming to the table and coming into this room and not spelling out what the exact picture is from the customer's perspective. We can only solve for problems that we know exist. And unless we're bringing those to the table, we can never solve for them, which is, I think, another perfect segue into the last one, which is be bold. There is no wrong answer. And I think the key thing here is thinking big, thinking outside of the box. And once we map each of those stages and we can truthfully say, these are the pain points and these are the gain points, let's solve for the pain points. Let's be bold in the strategy. Let's make sure that we are, again, focusing on the client-centric and those first impressions, and there's no way that you can fail.
Being perfectly honest about what it's like to deliver an experience to a customer, a journey mapping session is the place to do that. Because I can't tell you how many times we've had enterprise discussions with executive management in the room. We're mapping a journey, and somebody inside of a function goes, well, these are the 8 things I've got to do to make this ball move half a yard for the client. And management will go, well, why do we do that? Well, because those are the systems and tools you've given me to accomplish the task I've been asked to complete for this client. And so there are ways to drive huge benefits in delivery that the client would still see the same outcome, but the team has such a better experience of delivering that outcome. So by all means, get the skunk on the table. Get the problems out in the middle of the room so we can all look at them and come up with solutions for solving them. Because ultimately, making things go better for the customer and for the team that's delivering to the customer is the object of the exercise.
To learn more about CXM Engine by Ovation CXM and see it in action, visit ovationcxm.com.